And tell the audience how you feel now in comparison to when you first heard it. So people maybe that are listening that are just hearing it about cancer know that there is help and they can live.
Sure, I'd be happy to, and I appreciate the opportunity, especially to someone who might be getting that news, because I know it happens all the time, and I know it's a devastating feeling, and it's one that comes with a certain level of loneliness, because even though you have all these people around you, ultimately you are the one that's going through that experience. And I found out I had cancer, the Arias trial ended in April of 2015. And
right.
At that point in time, I had lost my 75 pounds. I was feeling pretty healthy. I was certainly burned out from the trial, but I was feeling pretty good, and I was taking some vacations. And come fall time, I was thinking about getting back to work. And that's when I noticed an inflammation underneath my right armpit. And to make a long story short, we found out that the lab test results after the extraction of that was that my lymph node was inflamed because I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And the scary part was, I guess, in many ways, apart from the word cancer, is that I didn't feel anything. I felt perfectly healthy, went through the list of symptoms with my oncologist, and didn't have any of the symptoms. So we thought, well, that might have done it. You're just going to need 3 chemo treatments. And it turns out I had 2 other tumors, one near my stomach and one near my heart. And that, of course, is devastating, and that meant 6 chemotherapy treatments. And I think one of the hardest parts of the whole experience was thinking that even with the rigors of chemotherapy and even knowing that chemotherapy was going to damage my body, I still only had a 70% chance of surviving, around 70%.
Wow.
Now, those are pretty good odds, right? But they don't sound
Yeah.
too good when we're talking about life or death, right? You might put down $20 on the Super Bowl in Vegas if you have a 70% chance of winning. But when it's life or death, you have a 30% chance of dying. And so that really alters perspective. But it alters perspective in a way that I've found ultimately to be beneficial, because it really allowed me to take inventory in my life. And if I was going to fight for my life through all the rigors of chemotherapy, what was I fighting for? And that started getting me to a point where I started thinking about what is important, what I wanted to do. Why did I want to live? A lot of us think we don't want to die, but we don't think about why we want to live. And I started becoming empowered by thinking about why I wanted to live and changes that I wanted to make in my life. So ultimately, for those that are facing that diagnosis right now, if you find the reasons that you want to live, those reasons will also serve as something that helps you through the battle and reshapes your life when you come out the other side. And, you've got a good chance of coming out the other side, but having that motivation and drive and knowing what you're fighting for was a real important factor to me. Maybe that's just because I've been a competitive person, played sports, was a lawyer for 15 years, etc. But having that battle and really wanting to enjoy the life that I fought to live in a happiness, I wasn't happy lawyering. And so it's like, why go back to something that's going to make you unhappy? So I think it can be a real transformational process when you come out the other side.